Hello everybody, welcome to another All Maverick reaction where we are continuing to watch through the Wheel of Time. This week we are on episode 5, which is called Blood Calls Blood. You excited there, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, you excited about the blood bit?
He's just
well, I want to know how blood calls blood.
Oh, okay. He's just excited about everything. Quick recap of last week. We watched last episode. We watched The Dragon Reborn.
Such a good episode.
It was really good. Yeah, we were introduced to Logain, another character who believed that he was the Dragon Reborn. By the end of the episode, he'd sort of had the powers stripped out of him, and maybe Nynaeve. Again, I always get her name wrong, but maybe she is actually now the fifth person that could be the Dragon Reborn. We also saw Rand and Matt at a farmstead, where at the end everyone got murdered, and the Fade Walkers, or whatever they're called, Fade Riders, one of those guys appeared. We don't know if he killed everyone at the farm or if it was Matt.
I still think it was the Fade.
Jeremy think it was the Fade, right?
Yeah.
And Tom thinks it was Matt.
Yeah.
And Egwene and...
It was.
No.
There we go.
I think we're right.
And Egwene and Perrin continued their journey with the Travellers, the Tinkers, those kind of characters, the kind of violence, the group against violence. Anyway, shall we get into Blood Calls Blood?
Do it.
Let's see what's going on in this episode. Oh, this episode as well, we're going to do a little bit differently. We're going to be watching this episode, and then we are going to watch the little X-ray video connected to this afterwards. And then we're going to go into our discussion. Anyway, let's get started, shall we, guys?
Come on.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So this is Blood Calls Blood.
Not very deep graves, are they?
Yeah.
No, they're going to be getting dug up pretty sharpish, but then it is probably quite hard land.
Yeah.
From how cold it is.
Yeah, but some of them got magic powers. I should be able to do it easy.
That's true.
Wonder if they'll burn the bodies maybe in the... I'm interested to know what that happens to him when the Aes Sedai that he is bonded with protects. Yeah. Does he move on to someone else, or does he go off and do something different, or...
I don't know, maybe we'll find out. Maybe he's maybe he's kind of...
Is it with new up-and-coming Aes Sedai, does he then...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, off of that Tom guy, what was his name?
Oh, there.
Yeah, it looks like they met up with some other group.
Yeah.
Well, he don't look good.
Look at Matt. Matt is looking worse.
I thought we were going to the White Tower.
Yeah, we will. But first, we need to rest and clean up. Think they'll let us in looking like this?
Now got Matt looking anything like he looks. We don't want any of their type in here.
A false dragon.
Oh, there you go.
Don't know anything about him, but we've been in the grass for months now.
Oh.
Those two. Bring them to me.
You can't just
They're hiding now after he pointed.
They're not your people.
They've eaten our food and shared our fire.
You can't have them.
I can't. That's a strange word to be coming out of a tinker's mouth. How exactly do you plan on stopping me?
Yeah, how's this going to work with no weapons?
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, look at them.
What are you going to do?
The way of belief against the way of the light.
Gosh, shit.
Jeez.
Ouch. Look, they're all going for a backhand now.
Yeah. Oh, they're all getting... You are right. They're all getting slap happy.
We can't just leave them.
White cloaks, maybe bastards. They won't kill Tuatha. Come on, hurry.
And they'll just slap them around.
Gosh, shit. Bloody hell.
Oh. Did that just scare you?
Yeah.
Yes.
For fuck's sake, guys.
This guy.
It's like these two are part of the two Afro. Just beat them up.
I didn't even hear you come in.
Oh, bloody hell.
Stay back.
Jesus.
Oh dear, you humans are very excitable.
This is the
I've read much
first,
of your people.
like, I think, non-human, like intelligent thing we've seen.
Yeah.
Obviously, other than the Trollocs, which
that can help you work out where a human is from.
I'm from the Two Rivers.
If you bond another ice to first you lose Moiraine and then tell me how easy it is to jump from one woman to the next.
There you go. Looks like you can move on to another one.
Mm.
Obviously, it's more if you can, isn't it? He means business. He's got his sleeveless vest on.
Yeah, he's taken off his golden sleeve.
They are very close to the White Tower, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
With them being the enemy of the Aes Sedai and all.
Child Valda. I'm just a girl from a mountain village who should have never left. Please, just let us go, please.
But you can touch the one power. I know you can. So stop me from killing you.
Oh, he's about to go beast mode.
No.
I'm sorry.
You call those wolves.
Channel. You said yourself you're sworn to the light.
Oh, you bastard.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's going beast mode, look, told you.
Are meant to be of this earth. To struggle and fight for everything we have. The Creator never meant for us to have access to so much power.
Oh, you
You
bastard.
witches make a mockery of our very existence. Walking like
shit, what's
gods
he-
amongst men. The idea that the one power comes from anywhere other than the dark is absurd. Channel for me, girl. And I'll kill you and let the boy go. Don't channel. And I'll kill the boy and let you go.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, what a choice.
I'll leave you two to discuss. Decide which one of you
Ah.
will be.
It's a bit rude, isn't it?
Blimey now.
This is a bit of a shitty situation. Interesting with the yellow eyes.
Yeah, they
though.
were turning, weren't they?
Like more like animals, right?
Yeah. We did say about he was like a animal whisperer, didn't we?
I think he might just be an animal.
Or an animal who talks to other animals. Same thing.
Grand Alpha.
Hello.
I was hoping he was going to come back.
That Ogier have access to the White Tower grounds.
No.
Hello.
I went there and found the woman you spoke
Oh,
of.
look.
The braid is a distinct rite of passage in the
We thought you were dead.
It was really very simple.
He's still
Where's
talking.
Egwene? Perrin.
No way, I think.
He's trying to channel.
I actually thought he'd done more damage to him than he has.
Yeah, I thought they were longer. Still, that'd be fucking agony, but...
I mean, it looks
Yeah.
painful, don't get me wrong.
If it has to be one of us, it should be me.
I thought he was about to get blood eagled.
This is what I deserve. Layla.
He's finally get to
No.
Oh.
No, Layla's death was not your fault.
Yes, it
No,
was.
I actually fucking did it. Hello?
Have we reached a decision?
I quite like him.
Yeah,
He's like a proper nutter, but I like him.
Very well. No decision is still a decision. Eventually, the boy will bleed out.
Then you can go.
Awesome.
It was an accident, Perrin.
Thank you.
Not your fault. And it may take you your
Oh,
whole
that's
life to
fake.
realize that. But you will.
I can hear all the wolves howling.
Yeah. I'll be in the tent in a minute. Nope. Careful, that hand will be off in a minute. Well,
You'll find me harder to kill than that girl. Especially with a flame so smooth.
Oh shit.
oh, burning through his
I was expecting
restraints.
more.
Oh shit. Beast mode engaged.
He's a Minotaur, man.
He just has to be protected. I think you're dead, mate. Oh, the wolves come to help him.
Oh, taking all those rings back. The wolves they are fucking shit up.
Has he been spiked? Or just drunk?
I think he's just had a heavy night.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there before. I've got photos of you sleeping like that, Jess.
I think something bad's going to happen before the end of this episode.
Yeah. I am wondering where Steppin is right now.
Ah, did he put that
stuff in his
rat's tail?
Yeah. Stuff to make you sleep, right? You spiked him with it.
Oh no.
Well, why has he done that?
See, it was on. It's probably killed himself, I imagine.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think that's what we're about to see.
I think he's hung himself. Has he hung himself or something? Oh.
Oh.
Oh no, he's taken one of the blades though.
To do what with it, Moiraine?
No, probably to do himself, I imagine.
Hopefully it's Leandro.
So where he was like, where he was praying or whatever. Yeah, he's gonna do the old seppuku, whatever you call it.
Oh, samurai.
That samurais do. Yeah.
No, he's still there, isn't he? Did he do it? Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, he said, didn't he, a moment ago? You know, what's life without love, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Look at that throat gurnings are getting on my nerves.
Relieve us of our grief.
I feel like I'm watching June again.
I like the idea of wearing white at a funeral.
It's raging. Like that. Wow.
Damn.
Sad end to the episode.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
That's some serious pain at the end there. Okay, right, so that was episode 5, Blood Calls Blood. So we're going to take a moment and then we're going to jump in and we're going to have a quick look at the X-ray behind the scenes stuff that came along with this episode. Okay, right, so now we're going to jump in quickly and we are going to watch episode 5 of the X-ray content. It is called The White Tower. So you guys ready?
Yep, let's go.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Ooh, this is going to be fancy.
Into memory. Another finds its beginnings. Out of the ashes of the breaking, surviving factions of female Aes Sedai emerged into a new world. They met under common cause to protect the world from further devastation. While male Aes Sedai continued their descent into madness and destruction, the island of Tar Valon was chosen and the White Tower was born. A base dedicated to progress, research, and training. Here, those with the natural ability to channel are welcomed as novices to begin their training. From novicehood, years may pass before a sacred serpent ring is placed on one's finger, raising her to the level of accepted. And long after, when deemed ready, the accepted take the 3 oaths and are raised to wear the shawl as Aes Sedai. Those lucky enough to get called to the Shul will choose their Aja of 7 factions, each with their own specific purpose. Warriors, standing ready. Healers of all things living. Keepers of the past. Seekers of justice. Law-focused diplomats. Pursuers of truth and reason. And those dedicated to preventing the wrong and dangerous use of the One Power.
Okay, now we know what all the groups are.
The Hall of the Tower is our central
it's
council,
interesting.
represented by 3 sitters from each Aja. Here we vote and deliberate over important matters. On the throne, the Amelin seat. Here, I was sworn in as the Watcher of the Seals, the Flame of Tar Valon, chosen for life. It was no accident that we chose the island of Tar Valon in plain view of Dragamount. It's a message, spoken to all generations, a reminder of the past, a warning that the Dragon Reborn will come, one day.
Lovely animation. I do like these kind of like storyboard sort of artwork.
Oh, there we go.
It's like a moving painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. A bit more information about the White Tower. Okay. Well, there was a lot of information there in a short amount of time. But, right, so we are going to take a moment, then we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about the episode, and we are going to talk a little bit about the White Tower. Okay, so we're back having just watched episode 5, Blood Calls Blood, and episode 5 of the X-ray content, the White Tower. A lot going on in both episodes, especially the amount of information compacted into that little 3-minute segment. But thanks for everyone that has suggested that we watch this X-ray content. Definitely useful information in there. Obviously not directly tied into the content of the episode, but definitely giving us some extra details on the things like the world and the White Tower.
So, it told us more about where we are.
Yeah,
where the characters are and
locations, and
they were talking about Nynaeve picking a house, so knowing what each house stands for. Was good.
Yeah, we saw a little bit about that last episode, so it's good to get a bit more information on that. What did you guys... So before we start breaking it all down, what did you guys think of this one? How did this rank for you?
They're just all really good, aren't they? I'm struggling to... I think
they're all part of one story, right? It's hard to separate one from the other.
I think episode 4 is still my favourite of the series so far, but they're all kind of there, aren't they? I can't really...
This was a bit of a... This was a slower paced episode.
It was slower paced, but there was
but that's not a bad thing.
I enjoyed a lot of elements of this one, especially with some of the character development and learning a bit more about a few things.
Yeah, I think the same. I think it wasn't. Well, this episode was more for people that wanted to learn about the characters and not so much action. So it's. You can't really compare it to the last episode, but it was good. Yeah,
when I say slower, and I do not mean slower paced in any way as a negative. Trust me, I had no issue with episodes of things that have no action in them whatsoever. I like a lot of character development, but it was just, it was kind of a come down and a resetting of a moment after last episode, and it's nice to see that we're, after a few episodes apart now, we're kind of bringing our characters back into at least the same location. Yeah. They're all finally made their way to the tower.
Yeah, I like that.
So, let's take it from the top. Let's not jump around too much, and let's chat about any things that people thought really stood out. So we obviously got to see one thing, small thing. It was interesting to see the way at the very beginning. We mentioned that they buried everyone in very shallow graves, but it was interesting to see how they positioned everyone in that kind of that circle, right? It wasn't not a huge point, but it was interesting to see that they had this like very ritualized way of burying the dead. And there's, I think, Jeremy, you mentioned they even were burying Loghain's soldiers. They weren't specifically just burying their own dead.
No, everything seems to have meaning, doesn't it? There's always a purpose for what they do. which I quite like.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see that shape they're buried in again.
Yeah.
It almost looked like the sun, but they cut off the top part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did have that sort of God rays sort of look to it. But that was only so we were there at the very, very start of the episode, and then we really jumped in. And we actually at that point went over to Matt and Rand, and I've literally just written down Matt looking full smackhead is literally the note.
They've gone a bit like Frodo and Sam, haven't they?
Yes, very
I
much,
kept thinking Frodo and Sam.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about Matt then, because let's not break down all the specifics of the episode, but let's talk about some main key points. What's going on with Matt, right? Because we had the discussion about had Matt killed the kid, had the Fade killed the kid. This is obviously a conversation within the episode as well. Matt is convinced that he did it, whereas Rand is trying to convince him that he didn't do it. But yeah, he's definitely he's getting that kind of Frodo look to him, isn't he? And is it the blade that he's found that's doing this to him? Because it seems to be.
It's either the blade or the power, but it kind of points to he was pretty much fired up until the blade point, wasn't he?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because Rand thinks that it's the power that's doing it to him, but no one else knows really about the knife that he found or where he found it. So. And, we've seen the shadow crawling out of his mouth. The shadow is definitely fucking linked to that city. It looked exactly the same when it was coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So I think that...
I'm
what were you going to say, Tom?
Well, no, I was just like you said, no one's really asked him about that blade, that little dagger that he has. And I reckon as soon as they get to the White Tower or Lan and Moiraine come to them, Lan's going to recognise that's from Stargoth and be like, I told you not to touch anything.
That's the thing, don't touch anything there.
Yeah.
Because his temper is becoming shorter and shorter. We're seeing he flipped out at like a kid or whatever as they were wandering in, and he's he has gone full Frodo Baggins here. He is completely losing himself in it, and I wonder if it is corrupting him in the same way as like the One Ring corrupted Frodo.
Yeah, was how the city went corrupt, wasn't it? Well,
exactly.
The dagger didn't cause the city to go corrupt, but the city was corrupt, and
it's like has some of that evil from the city become, is it just inground into all of the is there anything specifically about the knife, or could it have just been anything that was taken from the city almost just embodies that kind of horrible, like the worst of people, I guess, was really what the city was. They built that wall around themselves, didn't they? And really it just became kind of, I don't know, a place of like fear and hatred, and that's almost like what you're starting to see in Matt.
I know I said it on the first episode that Matt's the dragon, but also it's like maybe he's not the dragon, but he must have had the power, or almost has the power to channel from that Stargoth episode, because he saw that shadow lead him to the dagger, which is probably part of the madness setting in that people talk about. So I reckon he is definitely powerful.
Yeah.
And the dagger hasn't helped.
No. And we just kind of see that get worse as it goes on, right? He's obviously very aware that something's wrong with him. As you guys mentioned, like he had that kind of madness setting in when he saw Legane coming into the city.
Yeah.
He's obviously very nervous about if one of them's the dragon, and he was saying don't let that happen to us, don't let so at least he's still got his head on straight enough at the moment to be crazy people don't know they're crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes he does.
Yeah.
But obviously when Nynaeve came and she was went to touch him, he was like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
And then I felt like that wasn't him. Because then after that he kind of was like...
Yeah. That's the thing.
It looked bad that he said it, kind of.
Yeah, it's like something's kind of fighting for control of him almost. So, interesting stuff. Definitely we're going to see some more progression of stuff to do with Matt over the coming episodes. We also saw the return of the White Cloaks, and I do really like seeing these guys come into it. He really does chew the scenery, but that child Valda, he's
every time I heard his name, I just thought of the French waiter in The Simpsons, the clam chowder.
What, the chowder?
The clam chowder.
Yeah, it's chowder.
Chowder.
Yeah. No, I like these guys. I'm definitely... interested to see more about them. They've obviously, they're still very much in the way that we said they are. This kind of what's the right term for it? They're almost like they're like proper acolytes, aren't they, of this? And, like they're taking their love for this god or religion or whatnot, like to the nth degree.
And this was only a fraction of the White Cloaks, wasn't it? We're not presuming that they're all dead now with the wolves, didn't they? They did split up, didn't they, at one point?
Yeah. And I think there's probably a lot more than that.
Yeah, because he's not he wasn't the leader, was he?
No,
we saw
he was like an inquisitor.
Yes,
type,
he was. Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. No, I really like it. I think it's it's cool to.
We saw him get stabbed, but we didn't. He wasn't dead, right? He was injured there. He wasn't. They didn't take him.
No, I took it as he's going to be around. He's going to pop back up.
Yeah. Okay, so we are jumping around a little bit here, but let's cover off some of like the biggest things. So we've seen even more clear and obvious stuff about Perrin's link to the wolves.
Yeah,
he's got his eyes turned like the eyes of a wolf. So he's he is obviously like he has a connection to these animals. Is he like? It'd be interesting to see if he's actually going to be able to change or anything like that, or if he's kind of just channeling the power of them, because he became very animalistic. Even the way he was moving wasn't himself anymore.
His stance was very much like arms out.
Yeah,
bear like,
more like the Ogier thing that we saw in that kind of like that big, slow, deliberate steps.
But we've only seen his. Is he going to be like a werewolf, maybe? Because we've only really seen his connection with the wolves.
Yeah,
we've not. Yeah. There's not been any other animal introduced, has there? So
no,
it could be like a werewolf sort of type. They pack mentality,
maybe,
pack of wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I said that whilst we were going. Like, just his eyes was almost like a werewolf.
Yeah.
Although I did say Minotaur man. But
you did say Minotaur man.
I think later I said werewolf. But that reminds me of the first episode when you asked me, like, when he went bloodthirsty and killed his wife by accident, like, are we going to see that again? And we probably will. Like, before I said probably not, but now that we know under extreme stress, and, he turns into a bit of an animal. So
it'll be interesting.
So he doesn't kill anyone.
It'll be interesting in the next episode how Egwene how she processes it all.
Yeah,
obviously seen it all firsthand and the first time.
Or him also telling her that he had killed his wife. And this is not related to this episode, but this won't be in our thing. But we saw her previously at the start of the episode, and when he swung to killed his wife, she did have the hammer. She did have her weapon like right up over her head, like she was about to do him in with it. Which was interesting because she could clearly see what was right in front of her, and what was right in front of her was him. Like, was she completely freaked out at that moment by like what was happening to him, how he was changing? Like, because it did look a lot like she was swinging that weapon at him.
Yeah.
Seeing it there, I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah.
We were seeing it out of context there, right?
Yes.
We saw it for like a fraction of a second. So
they might show you more, mightn't they?
Yeah. But when he swung and hit her, the weapon was very much above his head, which was interesting, but not directly tied to this episode. I just thought I'd mention it. So, already mentioned this a little bit, but interesting to see another race appear. The Ogier.
Yep.
Yes.
Seems like quite a fun character.
Yeah, I really liked him. Yeah.
Quite humanoid. Obviously, they live a long life, because he was talking about how you humans are very impulsive. He mentions Rand talks about knowing a girl. Now that's the interesting thing, actually. Rand's talking about knowing a girl, and the girl he's talking about is obviously Egwene.
Yeah.
I believe he was talking about Egwene. But then the Ogier was like, turns up with Nynaeve later on. He's like, I went and found that girl you were talking about. And it's like, it's not the one, but we'll take that one.
It's close.
Like, we have been looking for her too. So,
I guess it's because he mentioned braids, maybe, and Egwene has braids as well, so he just was like, oh.
And something he mentioned was that he said that Rand was an Aielman.
I thought he said Aiuman.
Whatever it was, something like that. But he was very adamant that whatever that thing is, he isn't that. Now, I said at the time, oh, is that the male equivalent of the Aes Sedai? But in the White Tower we watched, they were talking about female Aes Sedai and male Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
So that tells me that isn't what that was, because they would have said that word. So I don't know what that meant.
No, we might find out.
But interesting to see in the future what that was. There wasn't a lot with him, but it was I like seeing the fact that this world isn't limited in its like intelligent non-humans, if you see what I mean.
They're not all just beasts and monsters, are they? It's
exactly. Yeah. There's more out there, right?
Yeah, I like the Ogier. He was really clever, but he was so like so stupid at the same time.
Yeah, it was quite like it was timing, right? He's working on a different. It's like that old saying that if a lion could speak English, you wouldn't be able to have a conversation with it. It's a bit like that, because your point of references are so different that it makes your conversation funny.
I wish
because of humans. Yeah.
I wish I had paid. I might watch it back another time. But I wish I'd listened to what he was saying, because when he brought Nynaeve in, and they were chatting, and she was like, welcoming him and like giving him a hug and stuff, he was still talking in the background. He'd like carried on his conversation, but obviously my focus completely changed to what they were doing, and I wasn't listening to him. And I wish I had listened to what he was saying.
I think that's the point, though, right? Like, that's kind of what they get at with. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention was that now this is a super quick thing, because I completely missed him. I heard it, but we saw the return of the salesman guy.
Padan? Is it Padan?
Oh, you saw him briefly, didn't you? At the
yeah, as they were marching Logain into the city.
He kind of did a smile and walk off. Yeah.
But I
definitely it was.
No, it was 100% him.
Yeah, I missed it. I was writing a note, but interesting to see that he's now there, right?
Yeah.
Like, and look how far ahead of them he's obviously made it for the city.
Yeah.
Like he's already there. He's like, I've been here ages, guys.
It was quite chill, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I feel like we'll see him again next episode, probably.
Yeah, I think he's got a part to play, right? Like he's definitely got a part to play. So, what else we want to talk about in this?
Step in, and the story with the Wardens and the Aes Sedai, and I really enjoyed that element of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wanted to know more about kind of their bond, and I was intrigued at the beginning to see how he would cope with the death. And
would he...
Yeah, we didn't know whether he would be killed because of it, like sacrificed, or...
almost like he'd let down his role.
Yeah, that's what I thought was probably going to happen, if he was going to be like, he was going to become a sacrifice because of not fulfilling
they made
the
a
role.
Comment, right, that they said it's a night. It made me think about that whole phrase where they say no parents had ever outlived their child.
Yeah.
Where they basically said a warder shouldn't outlive their Aes Sedai.
No, because the warder should always be there protecting, shouldn't they?
Yeah,
so taking the first hit.
And obviously it seemed very much like he had to take the ring back. He had to sort of melt the ring down.
Yeah.
But he could have moved on to be a warder for another Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
But obviously, it wasn't... Their whole thing, and we mentioned this in a previous episode, is very much... There seems to be quite an entanglement between their role and, like, the love between them as well. Like, some of it is like a bond, some of it is very much like a romance, and I guess that's part of what comes with being bonded, and they're so close with each other, they travel together, they're always together. So he was very much like, he spoke about how he met Karini when he was a younger lad, and he was out looking for fights and getting into trouble, and they obviously had like a very, very close bond. And even at the end, he made a comment to Lan when he was talking about love, and if there was anything going on between Lan and Nynaeve about he said something about like life's not worth living without love, or something to that extent. And then the next morning, when Lan woke up finding out that he had been, I guess, drugged, that he had killed himself, because obviously without the person there that he loved, he didn't want to go on anymore.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
I love seeing the bond between even all the Wardens, but then obviously you had some of the Aes Sedai there as well, so there was a connection between the Wardens together and the Aes Sedai to the Wardens at the end for his funeral, and just how sad everyone was. And there's a lot of passion there as well. I really like that.
Oh yeah, Lan was just like full on screaming at the end there. Like, it's the most. He's normally a very stoic.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, especially compared to, because we said this last episode as well, that like it's interesting to see that that's not what all the warders are like. It is him, but this was the first time we really saw that kind of breakdown, and he lost it. So that was interesting.
I think whilst Stephen was talking about him and Karini's, like, how he met her and stuff, it was interesting how, like, he was like, you know, by the time she'd finished being a novice and was ready to be a proper Aes Sedai, he was like, you know, she was so powerful she could have picked anyone, but she picked me and all that stuff, and you know, they were obviously really close. They known each other a long time.
He was somebody who was just looking. He was looking to basically get into a fight that would eventually get him killed. He was looking for death, really, wasn't he? And so she kind of gave him. She basically gave him a reason to live, and then when she was gone, he'd kind of lost that again.
She healed him. And she's part of the heal. She's one of the healers, isn't she?
Yes, she was one of them. In fact, actually, So
7 factions. There you go. Nice little thing into that.
Good transition. Good transition across there, Jez. So So what we also got from the X-ray content there was we started making some notes this last episode, but we got to find out really what the 7 groups are. So the greens are the warriors. The yellows are the healers. I think they were brown in some of the tapestries. It was hard to see. They were the keepers of the past. The blues are the seekers of justice. The golds, I think it was, again, hard to see, were the diplomats. The white are the hunters of truth, or on the search for truth and reason. And the reds are looking for people who used the wrong power, who wrongly used the one power.
Led by Leandrin.
Yes.
It was...
and one other interesting thing was actually that the reds don't have warders.
Yeah, because I thought they did, but...
No, those were just because when we saw them in that episode, it's because there was a pack of them travelling together.
That's what I just until then I didn't realise until she said it. But they did touch on the political side, didn't they, of the Aes Sedai, and they seem to be very much the grasp for power, and you know, like Nynaeve and who's going to get her, and because obviously she's got quite a lot of power. A lot of people are going to want them to make them stronger, and.
Well, that was the first thing. That was one of the first thing Moiraine said, wasn't it? That she was, when they got there and Nynaeve was with her, she said, "Well, we're going to basically hide you away because there's going to be so many people here that are going to be after you. They're going to want to sort of tempt you in their direction." And you know, even Moraine's trying to tempt her in her own way. But you know, they were very much saying that the ones to look out for were obviously Thingy from the Reds. What was her name? Sorry.
Leandrin.
Leandrin, and then the woman who sits on the Amelin, I think, who sits as the head of the council, would be 2 people who weren't that fond of Moiraine. So were people that she needed to be wary of. Also interesting to hear that from the White Tower that there are 3 people from each. There are 3 women from each of the different groups that sit almost as like the head of the council. And then there is the Amelin who sits above that. And we learnt that the volcano in the background is called Dragon Mount.
Yes.
And they've intentionally built the tower close to Dragon Mount as kind of like
warning,
sort of a way of declaring that they're like ready for the return of the dragon and ready to deal with that when it comes about. Anything else in this episode that really stood out to you guys?
No, we kind of just touched on it. It's just like the politics, which we've kind of spoke about while we were watching it, didn't we?
We're definitely going to see more of that. Yeah. Like we've got to see Moiraine have some kind of...
There's going to be a power struggle there, isn't there?
Happen with,
Lorraine and Leandrin, there's going to be... I'd like to see more of a clash.
But that's the funny thing, isn't it? Because Moiraine isn't interested in the power. We know that she's been out hunting for 20 years. Leandrin even said, "Oh, I'm surprised you even know where your room is. You haven't been back for 2 years."
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's more that others see Moiraine is like, would be a good leader.
Yeah.
But she's maybe not so bothered about leadership. She wants to be out there searching.
But it might take someone like Leandrin about to take power for her to step in and think this isn't good if she does get in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love
the seekers of justice, right?
Yeah,
So,
I love all that sort of stuff. You know, it's the whole thing. It's like politics in any country, isn't it? They've all got the same. They all want to, say they all want to do good for the.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, okay, maybe not. Maybe they want to do good for themselves, but
yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Though they're meant to be all having the same, the same outlook and meeting the same goal. Sure. But that'd be cool. I'd like to see more of the other factions of the Aes Sedai, because we've only really seen red, green, and a little bit of
red, green, and blue.
It was red, green, and blue. Did we see any yellow? Did we see a little bit of? Not seen yellow, have we?
Not really.
No, they've only spoken about them being the healers, but it would be cool to see.
Oh, there were a couple of them when they were in the battle actually, because they were healing people there.
Just didn't really see any main leaders from those groups, are we?
No.
Yeah.
One interesting little thing, not really interesting, one small thing that was interesting was that little picture that Moiraine opened up and was looking at of another woman in blue, and then it was like hidden away in a little frame. Don't know what's to do with that, but it'd be interesting to see if we learn more about what those kind of things are, or if they're just little bits that we won't dig too deep in. They've got to do something with it, right? Or you'd have just left it out.
I might be way off, but my initial thought was that was probably one of the first leaders of the blue faction,
maybe,
and it was more. It was almost like she was hiding behind a pillar, so it was going back to them kind of being spies. That I might be way off for that, but that's how I interpreted it when I saw the image.
Yeah, fair. Okay, here's a question for you. The episode title: "Blood Calls Blood." What do we think? Where are the links to that in the episode? Because it feels to me like one of the obvious ones is like, the obvious couple of links. It's about links, right, and the connection between people. So obviously, like Step In and Carini, sort of that kind of connection between them, but also Perrin and his wolves. There was a bit of the blood calling the blood there, but interesting to see how they.
I guess there's a lot of it in there. Like
there is.
It's all of them just ending up at the White Tower as well.
Coming together. Yeah. That little link that Matt was seeing between himself and Logain.
Yeah.
You know, it's that link, isn't it? So I think there's a lot of little nods to it in there.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing is obviously, like I said it in the episode, I know we kind of went over it, but don't understand why Leandrin is. I don't know if she really wants Nynaeve to be a red, but why does it matter what she is, and why does she seem to care so much?
Because I think they all care. I think a lot of the groups probably want people within their faction, right?
They want to be the stronger faction, don't they?
The strongest faction.
Yeah. If you have the strongest faction, you're more likely to the leader of that faction has the power, don't they?
Yeah. I think it's probably as simple as
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
So it's just stupid politics.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just politics, Tom. It's just politics. Plus, if they can already see that there's a lot of power within Nynaeve, right? Of course, you want them to be in your group. You want the tough kid in your gang, not the other people's gang.
Yeah.
Come on, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It just seems stupid, but
that's the world, mate.
It makes sense, but they shouldn't be that way.
It's made sense forever, Tom.
Yeah, that's the way it's always been. That's not for us to figure out right now. Anyway, I think we've kind of covered off a lot of stuff there, right?
Good episode.
We always go in a lot on this. Now, please, everyone who's watching, remember, I say this every episode, but I'm going to say it again now. We have not read the books, okay? All this discussion is us spraying ideas out there. We know most of these are probably well off, but some of them might not be. Please leave some comments for us below, but please don't spoil things we couldn't possibly know without reading the books, because that's no fun for us. Because the information that they've skipped now, they might put in later on into later episodes. Who knows how they'll deliver that information? But any observations of your own from this episode, please feel free to share them. Any things that we've missed that tie in from this episode to previous episodes, share those as well. If you've enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button, leave us a like. Check out allmaverick.com, where you can see our videos, our blogs, our podcasts. You can go to twitch.tv/allmaverick live, where we live stream on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, playing some of our favourite games, 9 PM British time. There's lots of stuff. There's some links in the description below where you can join our Discord server.
Yeah, come and say
chat
hello.
with us about TV, films, games, anything that interests you. We are always up for having a chat about. Right.
Well done.
We finally caught up, guys.
We have.
After this, you're gonna start seeing less regular release of Wheel of Time because we finally caught up with where we are. But you're still gonna see a weekly release along with the episodes. You just won't get the quick boom, boom, boom that you've had up until now. They'll be
more relaxed,
be a little bit more paced,
relaxed,
a bit more relaxed. But they will be an episode every week. We can promise you that. Right, guys. So we head off. It's like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
It's 1:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, please let me go.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.